It wasn't that long ago that a man's accessory drawer was, let's be honest, pretty simple. You had a watch, maybe a wedding band, and that was about it. But today, that whole landscape has been completely torn up and redrawn. We are right in the middle of a genuine style revolution, where jewelry has become this core part of how men express themselves. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. The revolution in men's style, one piece of jewelry at a time.
This quote just absolutely nails it. What used to be an afterthought is now a front-page story in the fashion world. This isn't just about wearing something extra. It's a huge shift in how men are approaching style, confidence, and their own individuality.
So what's really going on here? I mean, why is all of this happening now? Because this is definitely more than just some passing trend.
What it really comes down to is a kind of modern renaissance for masculinity. We're seeing this massive move away from an era of conformity and into one that's really defined by confidence.
Just think about that shift for a second. In the past, men's jewelry was all about function or status, a practical watch, a symbolic ring. But today, wow, it's become this powerful way to express yourself, to tell your own story. Adornment now is a sign of confidence, not conformity. And this new aesthetic has a name that I think is just perfect: quiet hardware. We're seeing a big move away from all the flashy, oversized logos of the past. The goal isn't to shout for attention anymore. It's all about rewarding a closer look, with pieces that have amazing texture, incredible quality, and a real story behind them.
And hey, this isn't just some vibe shift we're talking about. The numbers here are absolutely staggering. So let's dive into the data that's really driving this style revolution.
Wow. Just let that number sink in for a moment. The global men's jewelry market was valued at over $48.5 billion in 2024. This isn't a niche market anymore. It is a full-blown economic powerhouse.
But here's where it gets really interesting: the growth story. The men's jewelry market is set to grow at a rate of nearly 10% every year. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that's almost double the rate of the entire global jewelry market. It's not just growing, it is exploding.
So who's behind all this? Well, millennials are pretty much running the show here. That 25 to 34 age group, they make up the biggest slice of the pie, and they're also the ones spending the most. They are at the absolute forefront of this entire revolution. Okay, so we've covered the cultural shift and the massive market behind it. Now, let's get into the good stuff. What are the essential pieces and styles that are defining the modern look as we head into 2026?
All right, here are the heavy hitters. We're seeing a ton of bold, layered chains. Pearls are making this huge comeback, but with a twist. Think darker, more modern stuff like black Tahitian pearls. Stainless steel is having a major moment because it's so durable. For a more subtle but still premium look, micro-Cuban links are definitely in. And sustainability? It's not just a buzzword. It's a foundation for so many brands. And finally, the classic signet ring is back in a big, big way.
And when it comes to layering those chains, there's a real art to it. It's all about precision and balance. The whole point is to create this visual cascade that kind of draws the eye down, not just a cluttered, tangled mess. It's an intentional, curated statement.
Of course, none of these amazing trends work if the fit is all wrong. So let's get practical for a minute and make sure you know how to get the size right every single time.
Okay, this chart right here, this is your new best friend. An 18-inch chain is going to be pretty tight right at the base of your neck. 20 inches is the most common length. That's going to fall right on your collarbone. I'd say 22 inches is probably the most versatile, sitting just below that, and a 24-inch chain, that's for making more of a statement, falling down in the middle of your chest. And listen, the style of the chain itself really changes the fit. A Franco chain, with those squared-off links, it creates this really clean, vertical line. A Cuban link, on the other hand, it lies flat against your chest for a much bolder look. And get this, because of that difference in structure, a 4mm Franco can actually look bulkier than a 5mm Cuban. Crazy, right?
And if you want to find your perfect size at home, it is super easy. Just grab a soft measuring tape, wrap it around the base of your neck, see where it meets comfortably, and then just add about 2 to 3 inches to that number. So, for example, if your neck measures 17 inches, a 20-inch chain will probably be your sweet spot. Simple.
So, knowing what to do is half the battle, but knowing what not to do, well, that can be a total game changer. So let's talk about a few common mistakes, especially if you're just starting out or maybe buying a gift.
This is probably the most important piece of advice I can give you, whether you're buying for yourself or somebody else. The single biggest mistake is going too thick, too fast. That huge, super bold chain might seem like a great idea, but if it's a first piece, it often just ends up sitting in a drawer.
So if you're looking for a totally foolproof gift, here is the formula. We're talking a 22-inch length, about 3 to 4 millimeters thick, in a clean style like a Franco made of sterling silver. That combo right there is versatile, it's comfortable, and it has the absolute highest chance of being worn and loved. It's a guaranteed win.
All right, we've talked trends, we've talked sizing, we've even talked rules. But now, let's bring it all back home to the most important thing.
At the end of the day, this isn't about a new set of regulations for how men should dress. These trends are just starting points, right? They're like a vocabulary you can use to start building your own style. The old rules are out, personal expression is in.
I just love this final thought. Your jewelry, it's not just another accessory. It is the final touch, your personal signature on the statement you make to the world every single day. The most compelling look is always going to be the one that feels completely, authentically you.
So, that leaves us with one question to think about. As this whole world of style keeps expanding, what will your jewelry say about you?